What is hanging? What is banging? What is schlanging? It is, in fact, the Relaxation Station podcast that is banging and hanging and schlanging, in case you were not aware.
Was the episode with DJ Porn taken out?
Uh, I think it was.
God, that was
Um,
such a good concept.
Good.
man, that episode was good.
It wasn't.
I realized I didn't
That
even
was
mention
awful.
DJ porn in the. We just said the word porn twice. What am I saying? We're not monetized anyway. Um, uh,
Add like a
so
shitty 2012 intro, 10 out times of 10 seconds.
is that why people did
Okay.
those? You're
Pretty
like
much.
huh? I guess that makes
Huh?
sense because realistically, so like you know how YouTube likes to check like the first minute or whatever of YouTube videos and just scan through it and say, were there swear words said? If so,
I,
this is not for kids.
that was a little like terms of service thing, but you can't for most ad-friendly stuff. You can't like exaggerately curse in like the first 30 seconds to a minute, and even then, you usually can't curse too much in the video, which is dumb.
And Chris proposed the idea that maybe that's why people did such like long intros back in the 2012s, or in the 2012s
Oh,
and the 2010s.
it wasn't that much in effect back then.
I'm just saying right now.
Oh, I'm stupid.
Right now, yes.
I say just add a 2012 one because those are funny. They're like the
Oh,
shifting blocks in Minecraft intros.
okay, I'm just entirely stupid then. I'm sorry.
Put the OMFG in there.
What?
OMFG.
What's OMFG? Like one of
It's a
those.
very
It's
famous,
a
shitty.
band.
It's not a band you fuck with.
It's close enough.
I mean,
It's an
there's.
music artist. They make music.
OMFG is a song, a particular song, and it's very stupid. I
Wait,
can't imitate it, but I used to listen to it a lot when I was a kid.
I look up
no,
OMFG
it's a musical artist,
and I see that there's
not the
this
song.
weird like piece of toast with a smiley face.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Congrats, you
I.
found it.
That's terrible. I'm never
Not that.
listening to that. Well, I
It's
probably
not that
will.
one. It's oh, that's the one. OMFG. Hello. That's the one.
Hmm.
Okay, you're right, Tucker. Yeah, it's that one. OMFG. Hello. You've heard that one.
Maybe I have and I just don't know. But
Uh, look up OMFG. Hello. You'll find it real fast, and
I'm
you'll hear the first three notes and know immediately what the full song is.
I'm gonna look it up after I'm done with like after this episode is over. Just that way
Okay.
it doesn't because I don't know I don't think it's gonna interfere with my mic
Oh,
input at all.
let me do this. Da da dun da da da. You know that?
Oh,
That's that song.
and it then goes into that want
It's
that
that
thing.
thing. Yeah, it's that thing.
Yeah, okay. That plays in like every. Anyway, I don't know if it does anymore. I remember that used to play on like. I guess it did play in YouTube 2012 intros. Yeah. I was also remembering this one time, when I was a lot younger, I was playing this. I think it was actually my brother was playing this one Roblox game. It was one of those tycoons, and I remember it was playing really noisily. Huh. By the way, I don't know if I had mentioned yet, but I gave blood earlier today. I thought it was gonna be like a lot scarier, than it actually was. 'Cause there have just been like a bunch of promotions from the Red Cross. So I spent like the last week preparing just like eating more, which is really more like saying eating as much as a regular person eats, because I usually don't eat very much. And I don't know exactly how hemoglobin count works, but apparently my hemoglobin count was relatively high. And I go in there, I was 15.6, not sure what that really means. I thought it was going to be a lot scarier, that I'd like maybe be lightheaded or dizzy or it would hurt a lot. But the worst part was honestly just the worrying. They scrub your arm up with some alcohol. It's mostly fine. Um, I luckily looked away when they put the needle in my arm because when I saw them put a needle in someone else's arm, holy hell, it was a massive needle. It was very thick. It was very large. Well, very long, I mean. And I think if I had seen that thing getting plunged into my skin, I might have actually passed out. Because there are a lot of things that I'm afraid of, and needles are part of that. And if it was like a big spider that they put on your arm, I would not have given blood today.
That's a very funny, elaborate way of doing it. You just stick a spider in someone, it sucks the blood of the person, you chop the spider's head off and get the blood out.
I was thinking you just smash the spider and then get it up with a sponge, but yours is actually better.
No,
Like,
no, I like smashing the spidal.
you just take a hammer through it, squish it, drain its blood,
Hmm.
squeeze it like a lemon. That's spider farming right there.
Indeed.
And while I was going in there, there were a couple of people in line with me, and we started talking about vampires, because the obvious thing of, oh, you're having your blood drained, ha ha ha. And is it uncommon to think that vampires are just inherently hot?
Is that uncommon?
Yeah, is that
Or
uncommon?
I mean,
the whole
that's the
concept is,
modern portrayal.
I mean, the whole concept is that they force you, they pin you down and they fucking like bite into you. And
Charm magic and shit.
yeah, I mean that the concept itself is like not bad, I'd say.
And depending on
It's
like
common. In almost all modern fucking vampire media, that's excessively common.
and depending on like what type of vampire you're talking about, because there's different like interpretations of them. They're
Except
usually
almost all of
basically
those.
immortal. They usually have some sort of like incredible, like, oh yeah, they're just incredibly strong. Okay, so that means they could probably fucking bench press me.
They could snap you in a half like a twig.
They could snap me like a Slim Jim, indeed. Um, but yeah, you can probably imagine I felt a little awkward. But it's good to know that that's apparently a common idea, or at least that you two uh agree with me on that.
Well, I've never got my blood drawn because fuck needles.
I've only gone it drawn for like actual doctor's exams and shit.
Yeah.
Never donated it.
They had to stick a needle in me to knock me the fuck out when you're taking wisdom teeth out, my 18th birthday. And they stuck it in my right arm 3 times, couldn't find a vein. Stuck it in my left arm 2 times, couldn't find a vein, and decided fuck it and stuck it inside my hand.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. When my mother was giving birth to me, I don't remember what it was that they were looking for. They already given some sort of medication to induce labor. I think they were trying to like inject some sort of medication to either just like knock her unconscious or something like that. Um, she went into shock because they just kept stabbing her. They collapsed an artery, and my
Jesus
father thought she
Christ.
died. My father thought she was just 100% dead because the little the heart thingy, it did the beepy. It did the big long beep.
Because the collapsed artery wasn't pulsating.
Right. At least that's what I imagine. The heart rate monitor, that's what it's called. Luckily, she didn't die. I don't know if I was out by the point that she would have died or not, or if that would have had any impact on my not dying. I don't imagine it really would have. Um, but yeah, my mother's not very good with needles these days because of that. Um, so I guess if nothing else, you're pretty lucky that you didn't have your entire, like one of your blood veins collapse, even if it wasn't like an artery. There's another person when I went in there. They were walking out with like she had a purple arm, not like a purple arm, but like a big chunk of her arm was really purple. And or maybe it was just like, I don't know, I'm not too good with certain colors, but it looked incredibly bruised at any rate.
You said purple arm, and I thought of Purple Hearts. And I think it'd be a funny concept if we honor our army veterans by like zip tying their arms really tight so their blood flow looks weird as shit, and you take a picture of it. They have the purple arms.
And they just all take a selfie of that with the whole platoon.
Yeah. They have the purple hearts and the purple arms. When they look like the fucking grimace.
They wear their purple hearts on their purple sleeves.
Have you seen the photos of people in fursuits in the army?
No? Oh wait, yes. Usually I've just seen it with people who are like drone strikers and that sort of thing.
You say it like that's normal. Like that's a crazy sentence you just said. The furry drone strikers in our army.
What?
The furry drone strikers in our army.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I like it's cool. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a funny imagery
The Homestuck
to
fan.
imagine. To
Imagine
imagine
the fucking Homestuck Sharpie. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
what is a homestuck?
Um, so Homestuck is, you haven't heard of Homestuck. It was this webcomic that was started in, I believe, 2012. Really big, really popular. Um, there are certain people who were kind of crazy about it, and there's this one person who was going to, I think it was like Comic-Con. They they were cosplaying as one of the trolls from the series. And the trolls have, I think it's just gray skin. I don't remember if it was. It must be gray because why else would she do that? To better cosplay as one of the trolls, the person was trying to dye themselves gray. Usually people use body paint or something like that. This person went to a hotel and filled a bathtub with, I think it was Sharpies, and I don't remember how. Maybe they were emptying the Sharpies into there, but they just submerged their body in Sharpie water for so long, and they ended up having to go to the hospital because they got poisoned.
Uh,
And
Jesus
that's generally
Christ.
known as the Homestuck Sharpie bath incident. And I'm just imagining if that person was working in the military.
That'd be funny.
It'd be pretty funny.
That would be pretty funny. There's at least three girls in my entirety of going through school had poisoning from like coloring their veins with Sharpie.
That's stupid.
Like they would trace their veins with Sharpie or pen, I forget what one, but it fucked them up and then they had to go get shots.
I hope their
That's not.
Instagram posts got a lot of likes because there's not much else consolation you can get for something like that.
One of the people who did that, actually it was two of the people. You know the woman I talked about that was pregnant?
Yes? Question mark?
Well, she was one.
Yes, yes, now I remember.
And uh how do I say this? Lita was another one.
Lita.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember who's that fake name connected to, but that makes sense.
Hey, Lita. You
Yeah,
remember
hey
the
Lita.
time?
I texted you both.
Cool seas. Oh,
Um,
Yeah, Lita.
well, I'm going to assume from that who that was. Because there's only
But
one person who I know
PCL
of that you would be referring to like that who's stupid and crazy enough to do that sort of thing.
it was in Raven's friend group.
Oh,
unfortunately.
That yeah, that like daft bitch.
huh. I don't remember a lot about that person, so I guess that's why I didn't
That's
recognize the
good.
name.
They aren't memorable.
That's mean, but also probably true.
No,
Because
it's
I mean,
very
I don't
true.
remember them.
They didn't have a personality. They were just annoying.
The personality was to book the fuck out of you. Then act like it's an issue because you're annoyed.
Oh, okay. I never met this one, but you've told me all about them.
You're lucky. I wish I was you.
You make me sound like I obsess over them. You tell me
Well,
everything about them.
sorry.
No, no, it's funny. That's funny.
Um, oh, by the way, do you know the book House of Leaves?
Could you say that again?
House of Leaves by, I
No,
think it's like Mark Danielewski or something like that is his name.
I am not familiar with it.
It's this. I believe it's a horror book, and it's gained a lot of notoriety lately.
I
Well,
see.
the other day, I was I forgot what I even needed it for. I need to. Okay, I was just cleaning out my room. I got to my wallet, and in my wallet there was a Barnes& and Noble gift card in there. That well, I didn't know how much money it was at the time, but I had figured it was from my grandparents. They're Jehovah's Witnesses. It's kind of like Christianity, but a lot of things are different, and they're also kind of. You know how Christians often don't associate with people who aren't Christians? Imagine
Typically.
imagine that, but a lot more extreme, and also specifically if you're not a Jehovah's Witness. There's a lot of stuff, because again, even saying it's just kind of like Christianity is not exactly accurate. There's a lot of stuff about Jesus and most of the New Testament that they don't really accept as canon. But the important thing to know for the sake of this is that they don't really believe in holidays. They don't do them. But my
That's nice.
grandparents very often do say, for instance, oh yeah, it's winter. Let's have a family get together in December where we bring and cook food and eat food. And they didn't often do the presents thing, but if they ever did get gifts for people, it would usually be like my brother and I would get gift cards for bookstores like Barnes and Noble. Anyway, I'm guessing that's how that gift card had ended up in my wallet. So I look at it and I immediately think two things. One, I can either go to one of those card trading websites where you can like put in, hey, here's my Barnes and Noble gift card, or usually it's going to be something like, hey, here's my Amazon gift card, and see if I could turn it into money on Steam. And then there's another part of me that said, wait, I can actually just like buy stuff from Barnes and Noble with this. That'd be kind of nice. So I go into Barnes and Noble, make an account, do all that, and I put the card in. Turns out it had like $50 on it, if I remember correctly. I wasn't expecting it to be $50, but it was $50. It's not enough to buy anything like any D&D book or anything like that. And I probably wouldn't have done that anyway since Wizards of the Coast are a bunch of money-grubbing motherfuckers. Um, so I ended up doing was, well, there were a couple of things that I was thinking about doing. I was either going to buy something for my brother's birthday, which is coming up. He's a big fan of Legos. Not like, I don't know, those little like monument sets, like, they have the Pyramids of Giza, that sort of thing. I was thinking
That's
maybe
a
getting
thing.
that. Yeah, it's
That's
very
funky
funny.
as
It's one of their
fuck.
more expensive things, considering it's just like a big pyramid. But I don't know, I've never actually seen it in person, so maybe it's a bit more impressive. I'm talking about the Lego version, not the actual pyramids, just putting that out there. Um, anyway, all of them were incredibly expensive, which makes sense considering Barnes& and Noble does like to make money. So then I started thinking about, if there was any actual book that I wanted, because by now I had already redeemed the card. Not exactly like I could go back on that. I can't really think of any other book that's really held a place in my mind as much as House of Leaves has. Mostly just because I don't really know much about it, but I know that the author employed a bunch of absolutely crazy, I don't know if you'd even call them literary devices. The book is just so entirely screwed up. There would be like footnotes within footnotes and references to like indexes and addendums that just don't exist. Um, in the original prints of the book, the 21st chapter just didn't exist. There's also the entire index, which also didn't exist. I got the full color remastered version, so it does have those, and it's also in full color. Now you would hear that and think it's a picture book, but it's actually also that some of the text appears in different colors. So, for instance, the word house always shows up in blue. There's like little windows where it has like just little snippets of what are presumably other pages of the book, um, but way too cut off to be able to actually like read. I'm guessing those are also what's referring to when it says full color, because I imagine in the original printings it wasn't in color at all. Um, Anyway, yeah, I ordered that book and it only took a few days to come in, considering it came from New Jersey. I don't know if they had a copy of it over at I don't remember where the nearest Barnes and Noble is. Huh. Probably in like the name of the city I'm not gonna say. That starts with M. Uh
Meh.
Murphs.
sorry.
You sorry? Are you sorry? Nothing happened yet.
I don't know, just saying so much.
Please keep talking. It's great.
Oh
But
no, I was saying too much on the podcast. Jesus, I hate that.
You're evil. Get out.
well, it's just that it's saying is basically saying nothing. But at any rate, I suppose it doesn't matter if they did have any copies at the nearest place because New Jersey is probably their nearest warehouse where they have like actual processing centers or whatever. It came with UPS, I think, but that doesn't really make very much sense because like it I might be dumb, but I'm pretty sure only the United States Postal Service is able to put stuff in mailboxes, and this got put in the mailbox.
Is that actually a thing?
I'm not sure, but I know that like most people, unless you own the mailbox or are the government, you can't stick stuff in people's mailboxes. At least I don't think so. I don't
Damn.
know exactly how mail tampering laws are. Um, so it might have just been okay that UPS put it in there. But it also said that it was using USPS equipment on it, even though it was a UPS system. I don't remember exactly what the box said, but it had both UPS and USPS on there, even though the tracking website used UPS. So maybe it was just a UPS packing facility that it went to, and they used a USPS truck somehow, because it got transferred to like, I don't know, a post office or something. I guess that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know exactly how mail logistics work. Um, but yeah, I guess the whole point of that was I got House of Leaves, and I am very much looking forward to reading it. I've been very busy lately, so I haven't had an opportunity to actually like start on it. But now that it's Friday, and I can just sort of relax and sit around and read if I so want to, I can just choose to read, which is pretty nice. It's been a while since I've like had the interest or well, I guess I've always had the ability, especially thanks to the internet and totally legal copies of books online. But I don't know. It's nice to just have a passion to read again, outside of just I don't
At
know,
the
there's a
college spot I'm at, they have uh Wi-Fi freely available for everyone, and you can do anything you want with it. Play any game, do whatever. They don't give a fuck. You're adult now. Uh, which is really nice. And because of where it's placed, there's trees. It's nice. There's a bunch of shade. There's benches everywhere. It's a perfect place to read.
where exactly?
At my college campus.
Oh, right, because I guess there's no more specific you could really get than on campus without. Sorry, I'm rather stupid.
No, it's all right. You know that there's trees everywhere. It's shaded. It's nice. Fucking the ground has colors I've never seen before. I do not know what the foliage is there, but it's nice as well.
How's the fungus up there?
It's good fungus.
Is there a lot of it? It's going to be fall, but I also recognize that this is like the hottest fall we've had ever.
Well,
Uh,
that's gonna keep happening. That's
yay.
Not
next
that
year's
that's a
gonna
good
be
thing.
fine. Yeah, next
Not
year's
that
gonna
that's
be
a good thing.
I
the
love
year
how
after that.
every year we're always hitting record highs. Sorry.
I just can't wait until we get to 200 degrees.
I can't wait until we have to sell our houses to Aquaman.
I can't wait until shit gets real in about 20 to 30 years. And if you don't have house that's like above sea level a lot, then you're fucked.
I can't
And
wait.
even then, you're fucked. because then people are gonna start rampaging to your house to steal supplies.
I can't wait until the water wars happen because uh,
Look, that's
I
not
don't
gonna
know if
happen.
this is
Water wars where you don't have water, right? Or is it the one where there's too much everywhere?
water wars the thing where like water becomes such a hot commodity that yeah, people end up having to go to war to it, and specifically like clean water and that sort of thing.
Well, that
There's
could be done easily. You can just like, um, you can boil it and then have a leaf take the condensation from the steam and like make it run over to a fucking jar, couldn't you?
Are you talking
you're
about like
right,
the raincoat method?
but how do
Hmm?
you exactly do that on a mass scale when it comes to like all the lawn companies in Texas that are just spending so much water for the sake of having grass in
Oh
Texas
fuck,
Well,
that's just
that's dumb as
personal
fuck.
or
opinion.
golf
Fuck Texas.
courts
Who gives a fuck about
or
Texas? Can die.
almond
The rich people do.
planting things?
That's the issue.
It's the rich people who have all the money and all the influence who are going to
Can
cause the
die.
water wars.
Florida can die. North Dakota hasn't done shit to me, but they could die.
What even is North Dakota's thing?
Nothing. They don't do anything. Which objectively is pretty good.
That is better than like being famous for racism and country music.
Yeah.
Like consistently, it's funny. Tennessee has done some of the worst things across the United States history in terms of like human rights or like civil rights.
Who was the musician who like fucking
Blew his head out with
what's
a
it
shot.
called? Yeah, no. Um, he like projected his new fucking was like an album intro or something. It was some stupid fucking video that was like talking about like riot stuff, which much to the idiots, much it had a shit ton of fake footage and cinematic footage that didn't even happen in the U.S.
I don't
Even though
know.
it's meant to be like making fun of the recent riots and shit from a couple years ago.
Oh,
Have
was
you
it
seen
Try That in a Small Town or whatever?
I yes, that.
Yeah, that
what?
guy's stupid.
What?
There's this country music guy who made a song called Small Town or Try That in a Small Town or something like that. Um, and the song was really famous and popular for like a few years until recently, where he put it over videos of basically just like human rights protests saying, try that in a
A
small
lot of
town.
which a lot of them were like cinematic and from movies too. Even though he like attested to the fact they were all real and all real happened in America. Even though a lot of them weren't even in America. I think maybe like a percent, like 5% of the clips were actually in America.
Well, it
If that
happened in America in the Avengers.
true. No, but like even some of them were like from French protests and stuff.
And then, of course, people saw that and were like, hey, that's kind of fucked up. And so there's a big controversy about it.
I want try that in a small town to be the reason why there's a Revolutionary War again.
Hmm.
I want that
Hey,
to be if they win, I want that to be the new anthem.
I just wish that we didn't have to keep living in the events leading up to sections of history.
I'm okay with this until it actually happens.
It's just like the events leading up to something are usually as bad, if not worse, than the thing.
Nah, it's gonna be way worse.
Yeah, in this case, it's probably going to be a lot worse. So what do you think it's going to be? Another global conflict?
Ice glaciers is what's really gonna fuck us.
Yeah, we don't know what to
Before
do
anything
about
else,
global
because
warming.
the glaciers is coming soon. That's like an immediate threat no one's even talking about.
Nah, but they've been saying forever it's a bad thing, and then nothing bad has happened, so let's just keep putting CO2 in the atmosphere. Nuclear power isn't a viable solution.
No,
Where are we
seriously,
gonna put the
shit's,
waste?
shit's really gonna get real soon,
I think
and like no one's preparing.
I think coal power is very safe because all the waste goes into our lungs where we keep it safe.
I just hope I can get land that's like Because I was talking to a friend at college about this, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy land. Forget the state exactly, but Jesus, it was a smart idea, and I was like, man, I might do that too. It's just once shit gets real, you have a place. Let's say you even manage to afford a home in this economy, in that like in a spot that's will not get flooded to fuck. Okay, cool. Now there's like I don't know, let's say at least 10,000 new humans wanting, you know, shelter, and you have a house. Let's hope you have a gun. Let's hope you have like cameras.
I just wish that we had any hope of things not just going to shit. Which I was like kind of, I don't know.
I expect to die.
Yeah.
I just wish I could die happy, you know?
That's a privilege of the rich.
See, but that's why we throw things at the rich. That way we can be
Honest-
happy and they can feel pain.
Honestly,
No, you can't throw stuff at the witch. With their money, they hired bodyguards.
I want to see someone like primordial fucking like rust throw a wooden spear into like someone's head.
I think we should throw bricks and cans of soup at politicians.
There's a guy in my mind I want to say out loud, but he probably like drone strike me.
Didn't someone throw a shoe at Obama? Or was that someone else?
I thought when someone threw a crab at Hungry Box.
Oh yeah, that happened too.
I feel like if you're going to throw something at a politician, you either make it something that's almost entirely harmless or you make it something that's going to actively damage them, because you can't just go middle of the road like a shoe. But I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't advocate for physical harm and violence against politicians.
There was a politician. Nah, you can. We're socialist right now. There was a politician that rallied near Tucker's old place
That's
Oh
funny.
yeah.
Do you remember who it was?
Wait, are you talking about like recently, or do you mean like a while ago?
a while ago. Was there a recent one?
No, I don't think there was one recently. I was just checking to see if one happened that I just didn't know of. Uh, some there was some Democrats who came to our park to like rally because chances are they weren't gonna get voted for anyways in fucking a southern state. I attended, and so did my brother. They were very stupid, to be completely honest, but I guess that's what it means to be a politician.
You asked questions, and I remember them getting upset at you for it.
Yes.
That's politicians anyway.
You go into that.
I I mean that was like 3 years ago. I have a very shitty memory. I remember the main concerns being like water treatment, sewage, trash. That was a big one. I think that was like the main concerns was like environmental stuff over like social issues. I remember like asking how they're gonna do it and stuff, and like pointing out flaws in their plans. And at some point, they just said no more questions.
I hope that. Wait, what was I even saying? Oh, right. Admittedly, here in insert name of town we grew up in. Would it be town or city? I don't know. In insert name of town we grew up in, there has been an issue where we infamously have terrible water drainage. I think they're very recently fixing it, but ever since there was the collapse of, I think it was like a flume, flume. I don't know. But ever since then, the county has been in massive debt to the state of Tennessee, and it's still very much being paid off. And that's another reason why I'm upset about another frivolous financial expenditure that we recently partook of. I'm not going to specify because again, I don't want to give out our location. But I'm assuming other cities also have industrial development funds, and we just gave it to a big corporation who's building a fast food joint in the city. Not even to the specific like location here, to uh the entire company. So I'm on a local level. It's not going to do anything. Meanwhile, there's places like charities that are there to help out the homeless that are actively just still collapsing. One of them actually entirely shut down recently. There's the entire square of our town, which has existed for like actual centuries. That's still in severe disarray. And there is, of course, the infamous issue where we're still in very severe debt to the state of Tennessee, but we still find a way to give tons of money to a fast food joint, and not even to the people who actually matter for the sake of the fast food joint. And anyone that I ever talked to about it, it's very infuriating. It's a very popular fast food joint with people who live in Tennessee. So
What
anytime
fast
that
food?
like you try to say anything about it, they always say, "Oh, but I know, I'm just happy that I'm getting my insert fast food here."
Wait, is it Chick-fil-A?
Yes,
I do like their sandwiches.
but should we give them $300,000 because they're building a restaurant here, regardless of whether we give them the
Absolutely.
$300,000 or not?
Absolutely.
That
Well,
whole thing just reeks of embezzlement, if you ask me.
I think it's corrupt as fuck. I think they have the money to do it on their own.
They did. They literally were. And again, that money didn't even go to that specific location. It went to the big Chick-fil-A corporation. The ones who really don't care about our location whatsoever. Because we're not going to make money. We're a tiny town. We're going to be just like a taco stand, pretty much. They'd be better off with. Plop one of those in the state capital, Nashville.
Well, they did actually. They did. They had a little thing that went by every Sunday. Chick-fil-A had a little like cart they would sell chicken sandwiches out of every Sunday in a church parking lot.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, they can make the same money that they're making off of the full restaurant here with just like a little stand in a more populated area. Though, granted, admittedly, that would be, much more difficult.
I
Financially,
mean,
I also don't see the gain in it because it's relatively expensive as far as chicken goes. And, well, I guess that there are also very wealthy people who live here. There's a lot of income inequality in the town that we lived in.
there is. I have noticed that some people can't afford like clothes, and other people are
Mm.
buying name brand shit only, and they live right next to each other.
There are just entire like rows of trailer parks, and then there's people who own golf carts, personal golf clubs, who live within like walking distance of each other.
Yeah. America.
That is true. There's a there's like trailer parks. There's like four of them in town, I believe. It's like four trailer parks. And then I go down, you go down one street and you look to your left and there's houses the size of mansions.
I remember in the old house that I lived in, like the one I grew up in, I guess would be a better way of phrasing it, because I guess there's multiple at this point. Um, we lived near a particular fast food restaurant, and we went down that road. It went to I guess you'd call it the artery of our city. It was not necessarily a main street. It was an interstate highway that was largely connected to most of the main roads of the city. And directly across from the way that we'd get onto that interstate, there was just a very large house that always had these Christian signs in front of it. They're like very well decorated that said things like Jesus loves you this much with a big cross with the sun behind it or something like that. Not sure what it says now because I haven't
Popping and
seen it in
Clash.
forever.
But go on.
I just think about that sometimes. Because there's people who can afford to have custom fucking signs made every year for like different holidays or events or just because they feel like it. And then there's people who can't afford to take a shower because it's either take a shower or eat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
I
really
love
sad
wealth
case
inequality.
of a person I used to know who I could just hear like the comments from like smug bastards. Get a job then.
Yeah, get a
But
job when you can't have access to any cellular devices that are often needed for applying to anything. Get a
was it
job
my
when
fault? I worked harder.
Ooh, should have been born better.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we waived our no politics rule because we are definitely, I
Is
don't
this
know.
political?
Well,
This
the
is
thing
very
is,
political, yes.
it's talking about the way that things generally are. But the thing is, like, the only thing political is the fact that we're saying this is a bad thing. And that's the fucked up part. Like, yeah, there's people who, are working day in, day out and can't barely afford to put a roof over their heads, living next to people who get paid money, more than triple what that guy makes in a year for pushing buttons and moving money. That's good. That's because the people who are just button pushers just really deserve the money. Jeff Bezos, he has his fucking billions because he works really, 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 really hard.
Yeah.
No, see, that's what I was thinking. That and a small loan of $1 million.
I just wish we could burn it all down, metaphorically. And
I'm
also in some
surprised
particular places, literally, but
why is there why
Always say metaphorically.
there's not enough assassinations.
Metaphorically speaking.
Yeah, metaphor.
in
Just
Minecraft.
birds.
I think that we should throw Molotovs at Governor Bill Lee's house in Minecraft. See, we have the realistic weapons mod. The
Shut up.
CIA did the
Stop
MLK
talking.
assassination in
I,
Minecraft.
I've been saying
Shut
this.
up.
I've been saying this for eons now. I wish to death there would be more people to kill, like wealthy people in Minecraft, of course.
Like John Lennon in Minecraft.
Metaphorically in Minecraft.
Yeah, metaphorically speaking, in Minecraft. If they could all just die in Minecraft, life would be so
Metaphorically.
by chance.
Well, the problem with that is that we can't just stop at the assassinations in Minecraft. We also have to tear down the entire institution in Minecraft, because the way that our system in Minecraft is entirely set up is that these people will have successors and people who get put into their place. It's usually not one figurehead or one tyrant as it's often depicted in media in Minecraft. It's
Wow,
generally
Minecraft
just
sucks.
the entire machinations of our Minecraft society.
Of course, you also have to understand the issue that if it's done poorly, it can cause mass economic losses, which can put every single person in poverty and mass unemployment in Minecraft, metaphorically speaking.
Yes, of course, quite.
By the way, do you guys know how to make TNT in Minecraft?
I saw a couple of videos and just went with
Yes.
Uh, it's a good thing. Chris, thank you for swearing in the first few minutes, or the first few seconds, because if it weren't for that, we couldn't say all of this now without worry that this would get, like, blasted in
We're
Minecraft.
not making money
in
anyhow.
Minecraft.
By the way, speaking of Minecraft, um,
Nope.
okay.
This
Do
is
you have
bad to
anything
get them.
better?
Than Minecraft? I mean, it
Yeah,
was a
what's
top
better than
selling game.
Minecraft?
What's cooler than being cool?
Having a Reddit account. Up top, dude.
That's tubular. Well, my tower's gone.
In Minecraft.
Yeah.
Shut
That's what
up.
that's what George Bush said in Minecraft on September 11th.
Oh, I tried out the new challenge. I did not read the description, so when a single prince took my tablet in 10 seconds, I was so confused.
Yeah, I'm doing that challenge right now. If you use Dark Prince, the prince is broken.
You know, if you could go into any mobile game world that's not Minecraft, what would you pick?
Minecraft.
I'm gonna kill you in real life in Minecraft.
Fuck. I'm gonna
Yeah,
fucking in Minecraft,
cry.
which is a real possibility with the fucking Minecraft sex mod.
Because
That's
honestly,
fucking
I'm gonna
cool.
sound like a loser here, but My Singing Monsters is literally just a utopia.
My
Okay,
singing.
okay, but can I point something out? Would nothing try to eat you at all?
Nothing.
Are you
Literally,
sure?
yes.
I don't know.
Serious?
I feel like
None of those fucking monsters would
Bandit
try
would
to
like
kill you.
grab your
There are
head and
con
snap your neck so fast like a fucking swivel.
there's an entire family of monsters there that are literally just pretty much some guy, but he now has some plants growing on him. And he's perfectly fine and everyone loves him. But like
I
humans
honestly wish someone
canonically,
could get transported there just to find out all of them act like actual monsters, and if you're different, they just kill you.
um,
I always thought when I was a kid that My Singing Monsters movie would be kind of cool.
how do they make a movie of it?
They could have
I mean, they could talk about the lore, turn the lore into a fucking drama.
I was thinking they could have like I don't know, it's like obviously a kids movie of, let's say, a human goes into the monster world and they would meet all like that they'd meet Mammoth. This is fucking stupid.
I
It's just like
I
there's
feel
not a
like the
proper
person, if none of them, like, how many of them actually can use words? Isn't it like a vast minority?
Really? I don't
there
think
are I think 4 or 5 who have said English words in the past.
So just
But
imagine
there's
going there and
also
none of them, you understand none of them, and none of them understand you.
Hear me out. Here's the plot. A small 14-year-old girl is working on music on their PC, having a good time, and they're like, "Man, the world is boring." And I wish there's something more unique to it, like to help the game be better, or like I want life being better. It's so boring right now. And then they get sucked into the TV after their father abuses them,
Okay.
and
and then she goes in and she brings the Wubbox. So she meets
oh, the Woodbox is a family like heirloom.
no, she meets the Wubbox and she discovers that it has magical mystical powers of fun time and happiness. And
Don't think
Are
about
there
it.
transports it to the
That's a
real
cool.
world, but that's when the Wubbox ends up turning into rare Wubbox because remember
Oh,
that's how the rare
genuine
Wubbox
plot.
ended up being created.
Genuine plot. She's getting like belittled by her father. You'll never be good at music. You'll never do music. And then her grandfather comes in the room. Is like she sits down with him. He's like, don't listen to your father. You're meant for music. And he like hands her the box, and she's like, what's this? That's like such a
did,
genuine plot.
And that man
is
was
there like
David Kerr.
Is
are
that
there
what?
any monsters that can cause like a solar flare or mass EMP and just destroy the fucking world?
Um, any that have like world-ending capabilities? I mean,
I mean, they could
there are
just
just
having like any with electric capabilities are enough to probably fuck up society.
There
there's
are electric monsters.
there's one of them, Galvana, who's kind of just like think of her like literally just God. She
Okay.
governs electricity. Okay, so there's like 12 gods, but they're also not exactly gods. They're called celestials. They basically govern. the different elements. And this was during a time where there weren't as many elements as there were now. But there are the five natural elements: fire, the five ethereal elements, and then electricity. Galvana governs electricity, and electricity is supposedly the life force that all things are imbued with. And she can also literally just make one, that means that she has control over all life itself, which is pretty funny, and also probably how the Wubboxes existed. This actually ties into the fact that I have a personal little belief of mine that Rare Wubbox is literally just Jesus in my Singing Monsters.
Okay,
No,
shut
think
up.
about it.
No more.
Okay.
What
No more.
would
No,
be
think
Jesus?
about it. Just think
He
about
is
it
the
for a
baby Jesus.
So, in Christian beliefs, right, there's the whole idea of the Godhead. You got the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Galvana, of course, would be the Father. This is the creator deity that governs, stuff,
I
making
love stuff.
things, creation, life. The Son, in this case, would be the physical form given to the Father, uh, which, of course, would be the Wubbox. Because Galvana made the Wubbox. Wait. Oh my god. Galvana isn't actually. Galvana is the sun. Because that's the physical form given to the spirit of Galvana. So then that means that Wubbox actually represents the Holy Spirit, which makes a lot more sense since those are mass produced. Wubboxes are basically humans, when you think about it. They have free will, and the Wubbox goes into the human world out of curiosity and ends up sacrificing itself, becoming terribly corrupted by the forces of the human world, and ends up returning after presumably 3 days in its disfigured form. Just like Jesus came back, he has the wounds in his hands, little nail wounds, just like you see with John or whoever it
That's
was.
in politics. This you're fucking like going on a mice. This is crazy.
Look,
Like
this is an
yeah.
unironic theory that I have, and I used to think that Wellbox
Look at
represented
me.
Jesus, but this
Like it's
actually represents the redemption of mankind, because just like how humanity supposedly is sinful by nature, right?
So
By
Chris,
a
how's the
sort
weather?
of rebirth, the
Tucker
the
sent me his cock
Wubbox
in his
went into
DMs.
the human world
Tucker, go take a bath.
Huh?
and redeemed itself.
Tucker sent me his cock in his DMs. This shit is nasty.
No,
This
I
is why you shouldn't
didn't.
make Wubboxes in My Singing
I can see
Monsters.
the fucking dry crack lines. Go take a bath.
What the
Moisturize that
fuck are
shit.
you talking about?
There's no lotion
Oh,
I
left.
sent you Kerbo.
why did you send that in the discussion channel?
Is that
Wait,
eczema?
what he sent in the discussion? What are you fucking talking
That's
about?
what you sent.
Yeah?
You're disgusting.
Fuck off. I didn't do
When was the
anything.
last time you cleaned that?
That's what I was
Yeah,
saying. He took a
okay.
fucking shower.
I can smell it.
It's Kerbo.
It's Kerbo. You name it Kerbo. You have a name
I don't
for it.
like you. I don't like you. Shut
Hey,
the
what's up,
fuck
woman?
up.
Look at my little Kerbo. That bitch can suck.
All items must go.
That's
If you,
awful.
if your pickup line is like my penis is able to suck, you think it'd work on anyone?
I'd be
Definitely.
concerned.
There's
My dick,
people. Someone had
my
to
dick
draw the
suck.
Sandy Cheeks cockvore image. Someone's into that.
Okay.
They're not wrong.
I feel like it's a bad thing that you guys went silent after I said that. But
Sandy cheese cockboard is like supreme.
there's 100% someone who's way more into that than they should be.
Have you seen the video of the guy like making his dick burp?
That's disgusting. I want to see it.
Oh, it's nasty because he
I've
makes
gotta
dick burp
watch
and
that after
it's like breathing
the
fire.
Oh no. So how do you feel about circumcision?
I'm not
It
Christian.
shouldn't exist.
Because like most health institutions acknowledge the fact that it has no benefit and is purely just an aesthetic or religious thing. And I feel like that's stupid. Well, I feel like it's stupid that people do it. I mean, not that, people recognize it as a religious or cultural thing.
Also, the fact that it's only done on males and it's considered mutilation on females.
Well, that's normal, of course.
And some of the justifications I've heard for it are crazy. Like, I want my kid's penis to look like mine, or I want my kid's penis to look like my husband. Like, or you're never gonna see. Okay, you are gonna see it when they're like really young and in diapers and shit. But that's
Plus, it can go wrong, and it has gone wrong in a lot of cases just in mutilating children.
I don't remember what country it is, but there's some country where they wait until they're like 14 to do it. But it's still a mandated thing because I don't know, like, I remember what country it is. I don't know if they technically count as a theocracy, but separation of church and state is very much not as much of a thing there. But it's just like, uh, it's still mandated. I feel
That's
like
awful.
waiting until they're 14 for it is probably like
Yeah.
worse, or I don't know.
No, it's probably worse, yes. Because
Because,
then
like,
they also have the memory of it, or they
yeah,
have to have just like go into comatose or something.
because when you're a
They
baby, you're
probably go into
screaming all the
comatose.
time anyway, and probably don't
True.
remember any of it.
Plus, true.
When you're
I mean,
14
if it's
years
done
old, you're
like a
gonna remember when
surgery,
you got into this one weird room. They put a weird metal thing around your pee-pee, and then they snip it shut, and it hurt like hell for like 5 weeks. I don't know how long that would actually hurt, but do you think people who've been circumcised like that get phantom pain?
ew, Neville, stop talking.
Wait, what was the question?
Do you think people who have been circumcised like that, like later in life, get phantom pain? Or like, like you get a limb cut off and you still get pain there?
Um, I've read a post where someone was talking about how a girl convinced him to get circumcised, and then he did it, and then he regretted it like immediately for the rest of his life because she broke up with him too,
Makes sense.
like a week after.
Always change your body permanently for the sake of your sexual partners.
He was just like crying because he's like, I feel nothing now.
Never do
There's
it
like
for yourself.
my
Always
head
do
stopped.
it to satisfy others.
I can't like my head. I just there's no. My head doesn't feel sensitive at all anymore. Just nothing. People always. I see questioned a lot. People who get circumcised like, man, what's it feel like to be uncircumcised, or like vice versa? And the best way I can describe it is, being circumcised is like sex. Sex enjoyment goes down by like 2 times, and you can't ever change that. It's just what you live with. Your sex is like permanently downgraded because your parents are like, but the big fucking floating baby in the sky told me so, or
Sky
else I'll
God told
burn in
me.
hell forever. I want you to cut your child's penis, or else I'll put you in eternal fire forever. Now,
Um,
what's that, Hazel?
I believe the resurrection spell in D&D, which is a
Oh, revivify scroll.
That
not
costs like 5,000 gold.
not revivify. I'm talking about just the resurrection spell. It's like 7th level. It's way later.
Oh,
Revivify has certain downsides where it's just like they come back to life, but there's some shitty parts to it. Revival or resurrection, I mean, neutralizes all curses and that sort of thing. But also restores all missing body parts, which implies that if a person was circumcised, they get their foreskin back.
okay.
So if we lived in the D&D universe, and presumably if we
In the
had,
D&D universe, there'd be no god, like no Christian god to fucking say to chop our baby's cock off.
well, there'd probably be like some community who comes up with weird stuff like that because it initially had roots in the fact that people never cleaned themselves, so they just constantly had cheese down there, and that led to a bunch of infections because that came from mostly Judaism is how that came about, and that's why it's such a big thing in most Abrahamic religions. because Jews very much believed, and I think to this day it's still a very common belief. You ever heard the phrase "cleanliness is next to godliness"? That was very much a real thing. Being clean was seen as a very important thing, and in a lot of ways they were very ahead of their time when it came to medical knowledge.
Honestly, back in the day, I can see why people would like snip that shit off. I hate the concept of tradition.
What do you mean? It's how we've always done it, so let's keep doing it, even when it's completely irrelevant and just a waste of time and actively harmful.
Our ancestors used to bash the woman's head in after sex. What are you talking about? We can't do that anymore? Are you crazy? Or what's this about modern times? I don't understand that.
Oh, by the way, did you guys hear about the Writers Guild strike thing?
Fuck no.
Hasn't it been striking for like months?
Well, it finally ended because you know how
Oh,
like most stuff big companies have been putting out lately has been just dog shit.
yeah.
Well now, because that was most of their backlog, they were just supplementing with AI or just with whatever people could spew out of their heads. Uh, Now they're out of stuff, and because it's many video game like AAA companies have had many of their people striking, because that's also like voice acting work. Um, what's the other thing? There's also story writing work that's done on there, which is also shared between the Writers Guild as well as the Actors Guild. And the actors and writers have very famously been like hand in hand, like one strikes, the other strikes.
Yeah.
Um, but finally, they ran out of their backlog, and so they finally, actually accepted the terms of the deal, which basically says, okay, we're not going to replace you guys with AI. Um, we're not going to force you to use AI. We're not going to prevent you from using AI. If you want to use AI, you can, and they're not going to be able to train their AIs based on your work anymore, unless you like say that they can. So like very, I don't know, not very often you see the unions actually win, but here they did, and that's pretty good.
Well,
What's our
that's
time
also
looking
because
like?
it's entertainment, like the most important thing everywhere at this point.
That
What's our
is
time
the,
looking
we're actually sitting at a minute and two, so we could close it out if you wanted to.
like? I think it'd be good to do that.
All right. Uh, so does anyone have any closing remarks before I shut up shop for the day, so to speak?
DJ
More
Porn.
unions need to strike. More unions. There needs to be more unions, and more of these unions need to go on strike.
Workers of the world unite.
Jeff Bezos. Something should happen to him in Minecraft.
Jeff
I
Bezos
haven't said
should actually have his consciousness stolen. We need to get our scientists on how to find out how to like get human consciousness captured. We need to steal his brain and then turn him into DJ porn, and that's his eternal punishment. He just has to sort through
Josh.
all of the porn ever like shown on the internet, and he has to curate it and send it to everyone.
Imagine you like using DJ porn and then like DJ porn's like, help me, I used to own the Amazon. You're like, shut up, DJ
He
porn.
loves algorithms. He loves
Shut up.
data analysis.
I wanna see you fucking interracial DP. Shut the fuck up.
You guys have a good one.